doing today?
Hey, hi, good to see you.
Good to see you. Oh,
So,
wow.
what are we going to chat about today?
Gosh, but just feeling my way energetically through how to create this beautiful energy around us that compassion energy, like your shirt. It's perfect.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
compassion, what do you think? Like, what is compassion to you?
it's something that I've really worked a lot on in my life. I would say way back when I became really spiritual and started connecting with Lady Nada.
Mm-hmm.
I started, she, for some reason, I connect her with compassion. And um, I think the first time no, it wasn't the first time, but it was a time when I was in Miracle, I think when we had Mike Nash up there,
Mm-hmm.
that Lady Nada came to me and talked to me. And it's sort of since then that I've really realized that she is the goddess of compassion.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, Lady Diana brought and held compassion on this planet. That was one of her jobs. And I just feel like I've really had some awesome teachers
Mm-hmm.
because I have a friend who had a book on Lady Diana, and he gave it to me, a few weeks ago, and it's just great. I mean, I can tune into her energy that photographer captured in every one of those pictures that he did of her. It was just it,
It's the simplest thing, and it is the most basic core thing that anybody can do. Absolutely anybody can do without any tools. You don't
yeah,
need to have have a tool in your hands. You can imagine it. You don't have to have anything in order to give compassion. And I really feel that that's what we're here to give, that energy to the earth. You and I talked a while ago about you have a lot of experience in growing up spiritually, coming from a small island life in Vancouver area, British Columbia, and then going over and spending part of your life in the big city and part of it on a small island. And um,
yeah, well, interesting. Atheist parents.
mhm,
Just all the little contradictions that come in along the way.
mhm,
So interesting. Yeah, because I ran away from here, from being here, because I didn't see this place as the beauty as it was. Well, kind of, because when I was a little girl, it was strip log. That kind of really devastated me
mhm.
way more than I allowed myself to own up to until I was probably about 60.
How big is this island? And you say it was strip logged, so you're talking all of the trees were cut down.
Yes, very, very few remained.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And now I've been over and visited you once, so they've all grown back, but they're much smaller, I would assume.
Yeah. 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 It's
Yeah.
really amazing how you know,
But do you remember that we talked once and you were talking about how you saw, it's really fascinating is so many people are looking for a way, the way, or they're involved, their soul has them searching. And so they're going into a whole bunch of different areas. They're going into spirituality movements. They're going into um, green movements. They're practicing yoga. They're meditating. Everybody's searching. And here we are. All we have to really do is see compassion, which what does that mean? Like, how do we seed compassion? How do we give compassion to the world?
I think we just have to experience it. You know, it isn't like this wonderful tool we get. I think it's like this wonderful thing that we do. And I think what happens, Whitney, is when we connect with this compassion and we expand it out, Gaia, the crystalline grid of the earth, says yes, and it's all over the planet instantly. Because now with the change in the magnetical gravitational energy, we are at a different level of consciousness. It's, you know, we just have to open our eyes, you know, and I just don't know how the hell to pry them open sometimes, you know.
It really helped. It helps me to be compassionate, to understand that I have been and done about, you know, all the nasty stuff that everybody else has done. You know, there's nothing better about me than anybody else. I've been everything, and on a soul level, I have heard. Now, this is, you know, since I have not poked my head past the veils to see my eternal.
I just do a quick glance, just so I don't get hurt.
We're just everything. You know, I grew up really, really straight-laced, and it took me a long time to relax. And now I really see the beauty in so many different people, and I don't let my preconceived notions get in the way of how I see them. And that's a practice. I mean, it takes a long time, and just be able to see the beauty of someone just for the sake of their beauty. And then also the perspective of knowing that, you know, a lot of people say this is just an embodiment. When you die, you're not really dead. And I really believe that. I've had a lot of non-physical experiences, and I've had a lot of hands touch my face, and I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people all over the world that have amazing experiences, and they all seem to line up. So there is something out there that we can't see. And you know, that's the greater part of us. And to me, that's just me loving me, surrounding me.
Yeah.
You know, there's us. So anyway, yeah, if we see each other, I tend to do that. I gotta, if we can see each other as friends, no matter what's going on this side, we have to be friends in unity conscious, in heaven, or in the better place, or wherever you want to be. We have to be, no matter how.
Yeah, all those cryon places, those places.
Yeah.
Those places.
Those places.
Those we have access to all that information.
And if anyone is in, like, I feel like anybody in my life that shows me any kind of adversary, or if they're angry with me, or they're continuing on to put their energy towards me in a negative way, I also know that they're my friend, because only people that care about you do that.
Yeah.
People that don't care, they don't put any effort, right, in. So, you know, that's where we know that if we got to learn things. And like, oh my gosh, this week has been like emotional. I feel like I like enacted like childhood feelings of, you know, rage and sadness. Like, what is this coming to right now inside of me, you know? And I have to hold myself and just give myself compassion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Compassion to me is like a mother hug. It's that,
yeah,
hey, honey, the genuine, and this is why you have to have some to get some. It's genuine, it's caring, it's actual loving. It's the mom that loves and says, hey, honey, what's wrong?
Yeah.
How can I help you? Come here, let me hug. And then she pops your bubble, and you just bawl for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's to me like the energy of compassion. I've also heard it's 528 hertz, solfeggio frequency.
It is 528.
Hmm. Then I was thinking about fire. And recently, I can't remember where it was, but we were talking about the thymus. It's either the thalamus or the thymus. It's a high heart. It eats negative energy. And it is the center of compassion in your body. I wrote it down on my notes, just so, because this is really interesting, that compassion is the frequency that turns carbon to crystalline.
Yes. Yes.
Which is really fascinating because we are changing our carbon self to crystalline.
Yes.
So what better thing to do? And the Wingmakers, if you've read any of their stuff, they have the compassion in the 6 heart virtues. If you, to live in a life that, is compliant with what? Peace, or not wanting to hurt other people, or would a compassionate life? Why would we want to live a compassionate life?
The only reason I want to live it is because I realized how fucking powerful it is to bring peace to this planet. It's just like I got that feeling. I don't have it 24/7, but boy, when I have it, I know I got it.
And Mother Nature always is compassionate, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, does it, you're out hugging the tree, does it ever give you bad energy?
It always nurtures, doesn't it? It always does. And that's kind of the interesting thing, is like you see, nature always supports.
Yeah.
Always supports. So for me, showing someone compassion is to give them a benefit of the doubt that, who am I to judge anything about what their circumstance is? And I want to withdraw my observations. I don't want to observe with my eyes. I don't want to make quantum entanglement and observation that is going to entangle that person. And
right.
Compassion is knowing enough that you just don't know it all. And there are things that everybody is in their own learning experience. No one comes here like as this evil thing. Kind of.
And even if they do, if they are just overflowing with the compassion that we're dumping on them, there's nothing else that can happen except for ease or peace or whatever you want to call it. But it's good shit. There's no bad shit with too much compassion,
Right.
And it's just really exciting for me, Whitney, because I'm a worker, and all my life up until now has been really pushing and crashing and bringing the light to this fucking planet. And now that energy of mine is just I've just got compassion. And I just see how powerful it is. And the fact that I can't hurt anybody with it means I don't have to control myself. If I really want to save the world, I can save it. If I want a violet magic carpet, I can have it.
Well, I had my friend Brian Kelly who described compersion.
Compersion.
Compersion, which, if I get it right here, is the feeling you get when you are compassionate to someone else. So the feeling that you receive, which feels good. Yeah, so compassion, I always wondered, how do you get past like frequency and sound? So we live in this world, we got phones with radio waves going everywhere. We hear about, technology over the airwaves, and all of this is in the air around us, right? It's got to be impacting our body. And I always wondered, like, I lived in one place with a dear friend, gorgeous little nook of the woods, Mrs. Azura, and in North Carolina. And her house was gorgeous in this little piece of that it hadn't been developed, So she lived right in the middle of some woods in the middle of town. The neighbor outside, he played death metal every Saturday for like 6 or 7 hours. So you're sitting in Wonderland with so, try to keep presence and compassion in those moments. But, compassion, it's like a mental perspective. It's a neutral, positive perspective. If your perspective is always negative, your life is kind of going to go this way in the negative. If your perspective is always positive, well, I guess that's probably pretty good. It's all about steering ourselves, right? But, we want to stay centered. So
somewhat
centered, here we are in the middle of our pyramid, and we want it to be positive, giving, outstretching, magnetical, like Cryon says, of magnetical service. That's positive. It's over unity.
Yeah.
You got that's over unity.
Yeah.
And everybody we're all in the free energy movement. We love it.
But none of us have free energy.
Right.
But we love it.
We do have, though. We give freely of the compassion.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. And what that does on a frequency basis is amazing to the area around your body and to other people who are with you in the room. And so you emit a finer grade quality of energy out of your body. You're shining a light that you can't see, and some people can. Some people can see the auras. I can feel the energy when I really feel like I'm emanating good, nice quality energy. It feels very thick, like I call it stem cell goo energy. It's like crystal clear crystal, and it's
Yummy.
just soft, like really fine. And I almost want to take it it's like a goo and put it on anything that hurts in my body.
Yeah.
Like stem cell stuff, kind of put it on there. Oh, there's some goo here. Okay, here.
Oh, over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put it right there. Did you hear about the gal who is, there's many people who are glowing now?
Yes.
Yeah. They're shining light through their skin in a chemical process that they're actually kind of glowing.
Yeah, I think
we don't.
Pretty special.
Yeah. What else about? It's okay.
Yeah. Cryon says to re-look at some of the things that you have done in the past. He says, because you guys were way ahead of your time, and you may need to haul out that stuff and take a look at it again. And I worked with hired a composer at one time, and we did a 12 chakra meditation. It's probably 20 minutes or something like that. And I have got to find it because it's stuff like that. It's time for it now. I mean, it was 5 or 6 or 10 years ago that I did that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I have some other tapes, you know, when they used to be VCRs, you know, those big things. Yeah, I had bunches of those. I don't know.
All these they're popping into focus.
Yeah.
Yep. Everything's popping into focus. So what else about compassion? I think I show compassion. I also, it makes it that everything isn't about me, right? Like I could take things personally, or I could realize that there's a lot of things going on in the world, and not every situation is just about me. So the compassion allows me to release some of those things that maybe I would have taken personally, and I don't take them personally.
That's great.
So what do you think compassion relates to empathy?
I don't know if I ever understand what empathy really is. So I can answer a question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to me, empathy. Oh, what are you pulling up?
I was looking at empathy as just sort of like you relate to that person exactly. And I don't think that's what you do with compassion. With compassion, you're in a little different energy field.
Mm-hmm. Compassion, you're sharing a vibration that really
It's beneficial.
I think the empathy shows other people that, you know, we're right here together, taking care of our concerns in life together. Or the empathy of realizing how really difficult our lives are. And yeah. So the compassion, empathy kind of, they overlap, but they're not quite the same thing.
Not quite. Yeah.
So there's also a lot of quantum information on the heart. There's the Heart Math Institute, and a couple, there's a lot of really amazing scientists and things like Nassim Haramein and, or is it Haramein? I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
I don't either.
Yeah, Dan Winter.
Yeah, those folks get together. They have pull out some amazing science.
The geometry of the heart in the energetics is really amazing, and it's comprised out of like a chord, like a you hit a chord on the piano, of different frequencies. One is compassion, valor, humility, appreciation, compassion. What's the other? Forgiveness. Those heart-centered virtues, basically, each of those is a frequency, and each all together, they make up this heart center. So basically, if you don't know what to do in life, minimally, the very, very basic, if you're just lost, you just don't know anything to do, you can be compassionate. And you can raise your awareness that way. because the more compassionate you are, it's a higher frequency. So high frequencies have a short wave like this, low frequencies, long wave. And your DNA, right? You want the frequency of compassion will hit your DNA more times, because and then, okay, well, we'll talk about overlighting your DNA to, if you're
Yeah.
working on youthing or you're working on helping yourself, like you can, that's why you listen to binaural beats and you listen to meditation music. You want to expose your body and your mind and everything to these frequencies, because they'll help you. And they help you because they send that frequency into your body, and your body is in training. So you got this field here, and it's going back and forth between it until it comes into coherence. And that's what people do in a room. You'll notice you go in a room and everybody's kind of jumbled. Then after a while, kind of get back into a nice balance, into the coherence of it.
Uh-huh.
So I gotta remember my original, why I was talking about that. Oh, it's because why would, listen to that music help you? Yeah, because it hits your DNA more times. And I
Yeah.
learned, so it's high frequency. Here's your DNA helix. It's hitting it.
5,228.
Amp. Low frequencies, they're not hitting it as much. But there are some really amazing low frequencies, like I heard of 8 hertz, which maybe do hertz get bigger as they go? So 8 hertz would be really, really big. There's something about 8 hertz and blocking EMF. So
Yeah, I don't know what that would be.
the other thing that was really interesting is I think that all the movies are cluing us into something. Everybody talks about the one thing that we have to level the playing field. It's this technology called an EMP, electromagnetic pulse.
Yep. Sure thing to bring everything back to normalcy.
Yep. Electromagnetic pulse, compassion out of your heart to everything.
Yes.
All the time. That will light up the human grid.
Sure will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what's so exciting, is how excited Gaia is when we give this energy to her. I mean, the way the magnetical fields are, it just can, it gets stronger and bigger and fuller faster than energy ever, faster than we could ever drag the light along with us when we were, in the prior times.
Mm-hmm.
I just, yeah, I really like looking at it.
I think that one of the perspectives that has been really helping me when I finally kind of am coming to grasp with it is that it's not that we as the human race are these horrible people that are just gone past, far beyond, it's what we're painted, I feel like this is maybe what a normal process of adulthood is. And I actually haven't raised my own child, but I've been a student of this process of becoming an adult my whole life. And a lot of it started when I realized that my thinking wasn't very, very strong. And, everybody has, everybody's reality is valid. We all create our own reality, and every one of them is valid. Absolutely every single one of them. They are also different in that they are different in the possibilities that the thinking creates as a space in those people's lives. So the relative power to take care of concerns in life is actually what's different between people. And this is where people have learned talents and abilities. And this is where they've embodied capacities where they are competent in something. And what they
Yeah.
do, they've demonstrated over and over again that they're competent and they can produce this thing or whatever they do, you know.
Uh-huh.
That's valuable and rare and wonderful. And there is a difference with the competence, right? It leads to wisdom because, you know, over time, it takes a while to gain wisdom, right?
Well, it's true. And you know, one of the things that I've realized through a lot of listening to Cryon is that man, I lost what I was trying to say. But I'll have to
So
catch up.
we're all dealing with our memories. Just man, when it goes, it just goes out. Like I'm there with you.
Yeah, bye. Thanks.
Well, you know, when you actually resolve something in your life and you can't remember it, I think it's actually a good thing, and maybe you shouldn't try to.
Yeah, I thought of that one too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how an awesome thing. And right now it feels like a time in history where all of us are realizing how perfectly original each of us is.
Oh, that's so exciting, isn't it?
Mhm.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I really like it.
Man, I see everybody as this amazing, juicy character. Everyone, you know, and how you can't get to know everybody on earth, but you want to, you know, and you like, so.
But if you walk by them, how can you not notice
Mhm.
their majesty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, being
Yeah,
original.
I
This
used
is,
to wonder what do you call it? I used to consider myself bisexual. I liked looking at other women so much. I just loved watching women and watching how their body moved and the curves. I just thought they were just absolutely gorgeous.
I've always admired women from the point of view of, oh, I think I'd like that. That'd look good. Yeah, but that could be also evidence of male souls in female bodies and female, vice versa for the men.
Yeah,
There's a polarity thing, you know.
yeah.
What is,
I realized that I took a lot of male embodiments because I wanted to get it done. You know, there was like a buildup of testosterone in me because of the way I'd chosen embodiment. So it's you know, to shut up and listen it's a really big deal. I never let anybody, you know, I just was going to tell you how to do it and we were going to get it done. And, and, and you came along in the dust, you know. God. You know, I used to think
Nikki, you
mother was mean, but yeah, very.
you you are a warrior goddess supreme. Nikki, the first woman fishboat captain in the area here, Vancouver Island, for 10 years. Back what era? You don't have to date yourself.
The 60s?
60s. Yeah, my stepmom was in a male-dominated industry as well, and I always loved the advice she'd give. She said she didn't ever really want to hit the culture head on with, short hair and business suit as a girl, because she was in an old boys club kind of world. So she always remained a woman, wore hair long, liked to wear dresses, suit dresses and things in her meetings. And that was really, really nice advice.
That's pretty cool.
We're here to tear down paradigms. We're not always that careful.
You know, and we don't have to do that anymore. That's what I like about the entry of compassion, because I can just put all the energy I want into it, and it's only going to do good, or more good, or even more good.
Awesome. All right. Well, Nikki, what do you think? Have we covered some bases on our compassion conversation?
I think a couple or three.
Have we sent this from our heart out to humanity?
Yes, you got it, Gaia. Take it and multiply it, please.
Please.
Yes.
Oh, there is one thing that I really wanted to speak about just before we wrap it up. And one thing is that I really wanted to speak out loud to you and to everyone that ever listens to this video.
Yes. Okay?
I want you to know that first off, I come in peace. And I would love to co-create a wonderful world with everyone where our lives look and feel a lot different than they do right now. And it's an interesting culture in our climate, but almost everybody I speak with across the entire world basically already is living to the best of their abilities in peace with their neighbors. We're doing our best. Everybody's doing their best, but I just wanted to declare that I agree to treat you with dignity and respect and kindness, and that I strive for leaving every situation equal or better off for having been in it. And that's what I strive for. So
yes,
I love that. And what I would like to do is exist in a world with people who work in their own self-responsibility and liability, and we agree just not to hurt each other, that everything is possible. Everybody can do what they want to do as long as we're not working on hurting each other. And this is where I see the world's going, and I'm excited about that because I think our creativity is just going to flourish. There's so many things to do right now in the world. So very excited. Science is bringing so many options forward, and things are happening on a global level that are good.
They're very good. It's like that. There's benevolence is being revealed. It always used to be, oh my God, what's going to happen? It's sort of always been doom and gloom. But now it's really important to see the benevolence that's surfacing from underneath all of that, and that it's benevolent. It's such a wonderful word.
It is. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm benevolence. However it wants to come, I'll go for benevolence. Thank you, Gaia. Thank you, planet Earth, and thank you, Whitney, and
thank you, Nikki.
Thank you very much for being you.
Thanks everybody for joining us. And this has been Nikki Darwin and Whitney Fisher talking about compassion, November 2017.
Yes.